Hi, we're the Cosmic Twins.
And you're watching ESC Fan TV.
Hi, welcome to ESC Fan TV. Tonight it's all about Denmark. We are going to walk you through the 8 fantastic songs of DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX that debuts this Saturday night. The final will take place on the 6th. And we've got some very interesting songs coming up. A lot of them 80s inspired. The top 3 songs, as voted by the public, will go through to the super final, which Denmark will vote via televote, and then the Danish will vote their absolute favourite to go on and represent Denmark for the 49th time at Eurovision in 2021 in Rotterdam. We'll say hello to our panel this evening. It's very much an international panel. It really is this evening. We've got people from all over Scandinavia, especially our resident Swede in the top right-hand corner. We say hello to Gustav from Sweden.
Hello, everyone. I have no idea why I'm here because this is a really boring national final, but I will do my best to be positive.
That's exactly the way to start a show. Moving from Stockholm all the way to the other part of Sweden, we go to Malmö to say good evening to Jeanette.
Malmö calling, hi.
Good to see you, Jeanette. From Sweden, we're going to Denmark to say hey to Nicholas.
Hello, bet no one thought I would be back here, but I am here today to talk about the country that I, for obvious reasons, know the most about.
Which is good because we definitely don't.
Exactly.
So,
we're neighbours.
We had to coerce Nicholas to come and help us out. So it's good to see you back, Nicholas. From Denmark, we move south, quite a long way south, to Cyprus. Hey, Marius.
Hi, guys. Hello, hello. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Good to see you. And last but not least, hey to my co-host, Tom. How are you,
Hey,
Tom?
Stu. You're right. Yeah, all good. Looking forward to talking about DMGP this evening. Should be good.
Exactly. And guys, if you in the chat room want to vote for your favourite songs this evening, the power is in your hands. You can vote at menti.com. Use the code 4832211. That's menti.com, 483221 and 1. As I said, there are 8 songs this evening. We're going to walk you through all 8, and our panel are going to tell you why each of these songs, no, they really are, each of these songs have a chance to win DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX this Saturday. We're going to start with song number 1. Let's have a listen. So that was Nanna Olivia. Go on, Nicholas. Try and pronounce this for me, because I certainly can't.
Hvileløse, hjerter.
There you go. What he said. So Nanna Olivia is 22 years old. Singing's been part of her life since the age of 3. She's not only a singer, but a singer-songwriter. And this particular song was written by Anna David, Nikolai Levering and Kasper Sorensen. You may remember Anna David, who was a participant back in DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX 2014 with the song It Hurts. And not to be confused with Lena Philipsson's song from 10 years prior in Sweden. That's Nanna Olivia. It's definitively Scandi pop with real epic 90s bass line for those who haven't heard the song already. Let's start off by talking to Nicholas about this. Nicholas, what are the Danish public saying about this particular song?
Yeah, I think this song is one of the more youthful songs in the selection. Anna David, of course, being a singer that my generation very much remembered. She had a huge hit about 10 years ago, which was the literal translation of the song was "fuck you." So that was a fun little song to remember. But I think this is quite upbeat and youthful and fun, and I think that's kind of the crowd that are really listening to this song at the moment. It is very radio friendly, and I could see this being played easily on Danish radio. but I wouldn't necessarily call it a favorite. I haven't seen much love for this song. It is the kind of song that people enjoy listening to, but I haven't seen anyone say this could be the winner.
Thank you, Nicholas. Let's go to Gustav. Gustav, it's kind of unusual for Denmark to send songs that are in Danish, so I have no idea whether they would change the language from Danish back to English, or from Danish to English, I should say, if this was to win and go on to represent Denmark at Eurovision. Do you see this being being a disadvantage to this particular song?
You had to ask me that. Yes, it is. I don't want to say it.
Tell me
what Gustav is trying to say is that he doesn't like the Danish language because we sound like we have a potato in our mouth.
Yes, what Nicholas said.
Okay, so what he said, right? Okay. Tell us about the actual song, though, Gustav.
It's quite boring, isn't it? I don't know. I hear it, I'm like, okay. Then I forget it as soon as I don't hear it. So I don't know.
Not a favourite of yours. Okay,
No.
From Gustav, we're going to move over to Cyprus to Marius. Marius, how can you visualise this being performed on Saturday night? Because she's one of the more youthful performers. This is really radio friendly, as Nicholas has already outlined, and it really has a heavy bass line. Can you see this being performed with some real epic choreography on the stage on Saturday night?
Well, first of all, I can say the shade is real, and we're going to be very shady tonight. I don't know how this will be staged. I'm expecting something modern, quite interesting. This is a radio-friendly song. It's not a Eurovision song, though. I mean, if they would pick this, it would stay in the semi-finals. She can pick Tuesday or Thursday, and then that's it. But she's got a good voice. It's a song for youth. It's not gonna relate to everybody, all age groups, but it does nothing for me. She needs to do something nice on stage to get the attention. I think that will actually help it a bit, but no, sorry.
Thank you, Marius. Jeanette, this song starts off with clicking of fingers, and then kind of in comes the heavy beat. I can see visually how you might be able to make that work on stage and really kind of come across as quite cool. Can you see this as a potential contender?
No, not at all. Not at all. And still, I'm, from the south of Sweden, so it's 20 minutes to Copenhagen, so I do understand the language, but it doesn't do much for me either. It's an okay Danish pop song, still lacks something. It's just like in the middle song, and if they choose this one, I don't think they will make the final. I'm sorry, but it's just too ordinary.
Thank you, Jeanette. And Tom, what's your thoughts? And also, what are the chat room saying?
Well, Stu, the chat room, we've got a few comments on this one. David said it's a nice song, but it's least favourite in the whole of DMGP. Junk Food Rain Man says, I like the song, it's not my winner though, but it's a good song and I listen to it again and again. What do I think? Do you know what? I quite like it, but I've found a reason for this, Stu. And there's the moment where she goes, together, together, and I just want to go, together, forever, together, everyone. It's just got a High School Musical vibe, and I think that's just what latches it on to me. That could be an infectious hook.
It could very well be. Well, there you go. Our panel aren't that keen on this, clearly, but let's see if you are. Don't forget to vote at menti.com. Use the code at the bottom of the screen. Song 2. Maybe this one will get a little bit more love. This is Hjerter og Flamme. Right, you're on again, Nicholas. How do I pronounce this?
Yeah, so this is Fyr og Flamme with the song Øverst på hinanden.
Yeah, I didn't really stand a chance with this, did I? Thank you, Nicholas. Well, I mean, you can see from what they're wearing, this is very 80s inspired. In fact, it feels straight from the mid-80s, somewhere in the region of 83 to 85. Dance hall, disco, schlager, pop. What's not to love about this? Yeah, and they've also had a fair few hits in Denmark. I think they're pretty well known. We'll find out from Nicholas shortly. Nicholas, this feels to me like something from the early 80s, somewhere around 83, 84. Sweet Dreams from the UK might have sung something like this, if they could sing in Danish. What should we expect from this band on Saturday night?
Yes, I think we're definitely going to see a fun, upbeat energy here. If this was a popularity contest alone, I think they would have a pretty good chance of taking the victory. Jesper Groth, who is the lead singer of this little group, he is a very famous actor who's had some really good years here in the past 2 years, really scoring some great roles and really being known, especially to like the younger crowd. So they have a lot of stuff going. They had a hit last summer, which was, I want to say, a huge club hit, but obviously none of us went to clubs last summer, so it wasn't that. But it was definitely a huge hit, and I can see this being really fun because they are two guys who aren't taking themselves too seriously. This is a sort of like a fun side project that they've worked on for a few years, and they've mentioned in other interviews as well that DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX is something they've always dreamed of. Like, if they could be on that stage, that would be the ultimate thing for them. So I think they're going to give it their all, and I think we're going to see something really fun. I may as well just say this is my absolute personal favorite. I think this is the best out of the bunch.
Thank you, Nicholas. I love it too, I have to say. And I've watched some of the YouTube stuff, and they really do embrace the 80s theme. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen on stage on Saturday. Marius, can you imagine sort of 80s themed clothing attire, maybe mullets on in terms of their hair pieces on Saturday night? What are we going to expect, do you think?
Definitely, it's going to be 80s inspired, but that's just the beginning. I need some time for this. I absolutely love this. If you put in the blender, Bronski Beat, New Order, Dead or Alive, Stock Aitken and Waterman, just blend it in there, that's what you've got. I've actually downloaded a few of their songs, and I rarely do that. If I listen to a song once, it will take me a bit to actually relate to them and download their music. And Nicholas, please don't swear at me right now, but I actually love one of their songs that I've downloaded. I think it's called Mannhaskenburger.
Menneskeforbruger.
That one.
I knew what one you were talking about, so that's pretty good, I'd say.
Marius,
and actually,
and I would not even attempt that. So well done for attempting it.
Thank you. I mean, I've seen a few of their videos. I love their song Chameleon. And Nicholas, was it a hit in Denmark? I think it was, right?
Yeah, it was.
That was another great song, and I really think because of the sound and the retro sound, and it's taking us back. If I would vote, if they would ask me which song would you send, this one immediately. Just scrap the contest, save money, and just send this song to Rotterdam. Absolutely love it, really.
Thank you, Marius. Jeanette, 80s seem to be making a comeback in Scandinavia this year. We've had Rayleigh's hit in Norway, and now we've got 3 in Denmark. Can you see this on the Eurovision stage? Are the 80s really coming back?
No. Rayleigh was something totally different. That was a really, really awesome song. This is old-fashioned. It's like Swedish dance band. Don't like it at all, and I think it's going to be an embarrassment to see them on stage. So it's going to be 3 minutes of me not looking.
Thank you.
Sorry, Marius.
Hey, that's why we have the show. Differences of opinions always count.
Still love you.
Good stuff. We know you love a bit of Schlager. We've known this about it. It's either a ballad or a Schlager, something or other for you. So this is 80s Schlager. Does it do it for you?
No. I have been sitting here listening to these people talking and be like, what should I say? What should I say? What should I say? But I have nothing to say. It's something, all right. So 1 star for trying.
Oh, Oh, the shade this evening. Tom, this must be right up your street.
I don't know what you're insinuating. How dare you insinuate that I would love something like, you know, 80s with perhaps, you know, about as edgy as my pop possibly stretches to, you know, not quite cheesy, but, you know, just a little bit of minor key in there to give it some edge. Of course I like this, Stuart. This is a great song. I think it's really good. I can't wait to see how it's performed. Some interesting things I've kind of picked up from listening to it. Firstly, I think Marius was spot on with his comment about kind of chucking Bronski Beat, Stock Aitken and Waterman and everything in a blender and seeing what comes out, because I think you've definitely got those vibes. There's also a little bit, if you listen closely to the chorus refrain, there is a snatch of, if you listen to Mary Spiteri's Little Child from 1992, there is a little snatch in that refrain where you think there's almost going to be an elevation into the thing. So in Little Child, it's da, 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 da. There is something like that goes on with this. But whereas Mary Spiteri then key changes up, this one doesn't. But I thought that was quite interesting as well, because it's part of that whole thing, isn't it, of borrowing the familiar sounds. So we've got familiar sounds of the 80s, but we've also got a little bit of familiarity there. With songs that we may have previously heard beforehand. And let's face it, you know, she did really well at Eurovision, and, you know, I think this could be a good sign for them as well.
Thank you, Tom. Well said, except the bit about Mary Spiteri's snatch. Anyway, moving on to song 3. This is High Above the Clouds. Let's take a listen. Okay, I'm going to try it this time. That was Chief One and Thomas Buttenschøn with the song Højt, skyerne.
Close. Højt, skyerne.
No, I wasn't close at all, was I? Thank you, Nicholas. Multi-talented Chief One is no... well, sorry, I've lost my words. He's been here many, many times before. It's the point I'm trying to make. He's no stranger to DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX. He's actually participated 7 times, guys. He's had 2 songs in the Danish Junior Eurovision too. He's won DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX 3 different times with Kulkai from 1997, as a songwriter, Soluna Samai in 2012, and Antisocial Media in 2015. This is upbeat 70s inspired disco schlager, if you want to call it, disco song. Sounds a little bit to me like Norway 1998, Atil Summer from Norway. Do you remember that? Yeah, that's what I get when I hear this. But it's nice. It's a nice little melody. Nicholas, tell us about this one. What are people saying?
Yeah, by the way, I'm sorry I didn't wear my curly kai pants for the occasion. I should have done that. But yeah, this is a fun little group here. I feel like the collaboration here between Chief One and Thomas Buttenschøn, I think it's something that kind of came out of, like, you know, the Corona times, and people are kind of like trying out new things together. They have released some songs together over the last year, and I think they work really great together. It's fun to see Chief One like on the stage, because he's usually like the producer, and he's produced, like you mentioned, a bunch of songs for DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX before, but it'll be very interesting to see him on stage. I think they sound good together, and they work really great together, and it is this kind of feel-good song. They're opening the show on Saturday, so I'm really interested to see how this will actually be on stage, because even without the audience, I think their job is really to like get everyone up and get everyone excited and get everyone dancing at home. So I think if they can pull this off, they could potentially do a top 3.
Great, thank you, Nicholas. Come to Gustav next. Gustav, what do you think? What do you make of this one?
You know, when I listened to the songs before the show, this was my dead last. But after hearing those other 2 songs, those dreadful 2 songs before this is actually quite fun. So I quite enjoyed it. It still has the Danish language going against it for me, but it's the best song so far.
It's very bouncy, it's very uplifting, isn't it? And I can see why they want this to kick the show off. Jeanette, what are you expecting from the performance on Saturday night?
I think they're lucky to go out first because it's an up-tempo song and it will keep the people, going. Because, well, but still, I'm not sold on it. It's up-tempo, yes, but it doesn't really do it for me. The thing that's good is his hair. I hope it's like gigantic on stage. So that will keep the focus on the hair.
All about the hair.
It's all about the hair.
Yes. About the hair.
That's the most positive thing I can say. Sorry.
Thank you, Jeanette. Marius, the fact that Chief One's no stranger to Dance Melody Grand Prix, do you think that acts as an advantage for him coming on stage on Saturday? Can you kind of visualize the two of them bouncing around to this and really kind of getting the audience going?
That's the only way to do it with this song. They have to be wacky and bouncy and crazy. And this is why I think it is wacky and crazy in a good way, not cheesy. Now, Jeanette, imagine the guy standing next to water and electricity. That will happen. Now, this song, I actually Googled Chief One because I find him extremely attractive. So his name is Lars Pettersson, I think. Right? I think Nicholas, yeah. And I read about him. This is a very interesting song. However, after you listen to it a few times, you get tired. But this could be to their advantage in a way, because if they end up going to Rotterdam, there's thousands of millions of viewers who just listen to the songs for the first time on the night if they get to the grand final. So this might have a positive effect on them. It's a happy song. This could do well. I definitely see it in the super final. This will definitely make the super final.
Thank you, Marius. And finally, Tom, you're a big fan of Norway 1998, and given that this resembles it slightly, does that mean that this is also a favourite of yours for this evening?
Oh, I like this one. I think this will do well. It reminds me of, I could see this as a film soundtrack actually for something as well. I can't quite decide which film, but some kind of comedy film. I think it'd make a really good soundtrack to it. Brilliant. I love the song. I think it's got a good beat. I love the music video to it as well. I think they did a great job with that. In the chat, David says, finally a song with some something very different in the whole national final song. Very good, fun song. And think it'll be quite fun in terms of its staging. Some people, there are some differences of opinion, not going to lie. But all in all, quite good. And as a comment to Joydo, said, was this the last song? Just joined us. Don't worry, there are still 5 songs to go.
But you won't get a recap, so it does mean you have to vote for the songs you haven't heard. That's right, that's the law. I'm slightly happier now because there are very few songs in Danish left. So I know exactly where I'm going from here on in, which is exciting for me. But I thank you, Nicholas, for helping me out in the first half of this. This is the final of the first 4 songs this evening. Then we'll have a break. We won't really, but it's kind of like this virtual refreshment break, but we won't really do it. Anyway, song 4 is Everything Is All Right. Yeah, I know. I need a drink is what I need. This is a very well-known performer in Denmark. It's Mike Tramp. Let's have a listen.
When you believe it, then you will be free. Suddenly, everything is all right.
So go on, Nicholas, how do you pronounce that one? No, only kidding. This is Mike Tramp. He's been very well known in Denmark. He's been involved in music for 40 odd years. I mean, this guy is big. He's considered a bit of a rock legend in Denmark. Released 12 solo albums Everything Is Alright is a really well written, actually. If you haven't listened to it, do go and listen to it. It's really well written. It's a beautifully soft rock song with some country rock elements to it. Some really cool few lyrics in it. One for the money, two, don't let it go. Really beautiful. I kind of, when I hear it, I think of Dal Bob mixed with a bit of Waylon, both, of course, from the Netherlands, not from Denmark, but I get vibes of those two. Nicholas, what are people saying in Denmark over this?
Yeah, it's interesting because I watched a lot of reviews, of course. I watched a lot of Eurovision fans talk about this. And when they talk about Mike Tramp, they talk about his bands like, for example, White Lion. And I get that. But I don't think a lot of people has realized that he has actually been on the Eurovision stage before. He was the lead singer of the group Mabel, which participated in the Eurovision for Denmark back in, I believe it was 1978, back when Denmark returned to the contest. Boom Boom isn't really a song that a lot of people in the Eurovision fandom talk about, but it's fairly well known here in Denmark, and he's definitely, without a doubt, the biggest name in the competition this year. I think to have him back is so interesting. I feel like most of the articles written about DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX this year here in Denmark has been about Mike Tramp's return. A lot of people are very excited to see him back in this contest, and just in general, see him back on Danish TV, because we haven't heard that much from him in the past couple years. So I think kudos to DR for actually getting him back and for finally putting something into DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX that isn't just for the young crowd. You know, this is something that really can appeal to everyone and that isn't trying to be a Eurovision song. This is a song he's written himself that he truly believes in, and I'm so happy to see him in it, and I'm just very excited to see how far this song will go.
Yeah, I think it's really unique. And I wish it well. I think it's a really, really well constructed song. Genuinely a good song. I know someone who absolutely adored Dal Bob, though, and I want to see whether he can also draw comparisons. Oh, yeah, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Mr. Sweden. That's right. Coming at you, good stuff. Tell us about this.
I love this. This is fantastic. You know, outside of Eurovision, this kind of rock country vibe it's exactly what I listen to. So I heard this song, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is what Denmark should send, and that's that. It's really, really good.
Thanks, good stuff. Jeanette, do we think simplicity is the way to go for Mike on Saturday night? Do you think it'd just be sat or stood in front of a microphone just singing his heart out, or do you kind of expect some theatrics going on behind him?
I just say Return of the Tramp. No, not for me. I can't stand country music. This is not a good night for me. It's been just no. But I will soon change my mind. There's more songs, but this is dreadful.
If you're not into country,
it's torture. It's torture.
If you're not into country, I can imagine this is definitely not the song for you. But let's see if Marius changes his opinion
Sleeping
on this.
pill.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe Marius will like it. Did it wake you up, Marius, or did he send you to sleep?
Well, actually, I like this song. And that is one of the first things I found out about him today, that he actually went to Eurovision in '78. And I actually found that performance from Eurovision, and I watched it earlier on. This is a good song for the style it's providing. He's obviously a very well-established artist in Denmark. People get behind him. Country's not for everybody, but I think he's a solid performer and he will give a good performance on Saturday. And based on that, I think he could do really well. I'm not too sure about country at Eurovision because it's been done already, and we've seen the results. But I think this is a very respectable song, and he should do really, really well.
Yeah, but if you think about some of the artists that have sent country style music to the Eurovision Song Contest, they've all done pretty well. I mean, if you think back to the two I mentioned, can I add another one in? The two, the Common Linnets from Netherlands in 2014. I mean, that did pretty well. That really did pretty well. Tom, what do you make about this?
Do you know what? The title is Everything is All Right. And yeah, it's all right. I think that just about sums it up. There's not, I mean, it's a country song. It's nothing special. It doesn't go anywhere. It's all right. that's about it. There you go.
A man of so little words tonight, Tom. It's almost like you haven't actually listened to it.
Oh, I've listened to it, and I still came to the conclusion that it's all right. Seriously, it's just
all right.
yeah. There's the thing is, right, if you look at the songs we've had before, you know, like the bounciness of Chief 1, you know, it was really kind of, you know, come out and get it kind of thing. Flamme, brilliant, loved it. You know, this is just a bit flat, isn't it, really?
Not for you. What are the chat rooms saying?
Well, the chat room, Joydo says, I can't decide if I like it or not. David says it's one of his personal favourites. Mike is a very good singer. The style works for him and he can possibly win. This one has grown on me the more I listen to it. That's from Junk Feed, Rain Man. And also, special shout out to Donna. Evening all, she says. You know, hi Donna. Why aren't you watching San Remo? That's what I would like to know.
Every Eurovision fan has learnt how to kind of focus on one screen with one eye and another screen with another eye. I don't know what they do if they've got 3 screens on, but that's just another story. Thank you,
true.
Tom. Right, we're going to move on now to... We seem to have like lowered the kind of... you know, gone to a much more slower pace of recent times. We're going to stay that way with this next song. This is Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, come back to me. Abracadabra is what I need.
Yeah, it's Abracadabra by Claudia Campagnol. There she is. She started singing at the age of 12. In fact, composed her first song around that age too. She's won a number of different awards in Denmark. She won the Young Jazz Award for Jazz Denmark and released her first album in 2019, and she actually was nominated for a Danish Music Award from it. So pretty well known. You will know, if you don't know her, have recognised some of these names as songwriters. Melanie Weber, I probably mispronounced that. She was behind last year's Sweden winning song, The Mamas. In addition, Emma was behind last year's Danish winning song, Yes, by Ben and Tan. And going back to Melanie, she was also on stage with Michael Rice in 2019. So yeah, we will recognise those two for sure. It's actually Melanie's 5th song across both DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX and Sweden's Melodifestivalen. Abracadabra is high quality, emotive ballads. If you like ballads, you're going to absolutely adore this. Keen to know what my panel think. Nicholas, this is very different and very much stands out against some of the other entries this year. What are your personal feelings on this, and what are the people of Denmark saying?
Yeah, it is definitely the one for the ballad lovers, and I feel like, you know, in every Eurovision fan group there will always be the ballad lovers, and I've definitely seen love for this song. While you mentioned that she is very big in the jazz community here, I think in more of the general public she's not very known. I hadn't heard of her before this, but like you also mentioned, she definitely has a very, very talented team behind her, and I think that can really help her also in terms of how the song is going to be staged and everything. It's not something for me. I think this song is just a little bit too generic. I feel like we've seen these kind of ballads a million times, but at the same time, I think it's nice to have it in here to have something for the ballad fans. So I think it kind of sits in the middle for me, and I think that's kind of like where it's going to end on the scoreboard as well. I don't think this is really a big contender.
Thank you, Nicholas. One thing I will say on this is that we're not seeing many ballads go into Eurovision this year. It's like every country has decided that this is the year for a banger. And what we're likely to see then is 40-odd bangers on stage in Rotterdam. And a slow-paced song might very well stand out this year. And let's go to Marius on this. Marius, are we expected to see this more stripped back tomorrow night?
Yes, and you made a very good point there, and that's just France just came to mind because that's really, really slow and very quiet. That's a really good point, Stuart. I think this will be very stripped back, but it doesn't do anything for me. She's a very good singer. Nobody can take that away from her. This reminds me a bit like musical kind of music song, but not the kind of one that is famous or everybody knows it. She's obviously a good singer. It's my least favorite, I would say. And it's a pity because she has a good voice, and I think a better song would have given her more chances, but I don't think this will do anything. Sorry.
Thank you, Maris. I'm going to try Jeanette next. Jeanette, you've said that you've not exactly enjoyed many of the songs so far this evening. Has this one caught your imagination?
Actually, it has. I actually like it, to surprise everyone. To surprise Marius. It's like opposites attract, Marius. No, I love it. It's a beautiful ballad, and it actually gives me goosebumps. She's beautiful, and I'm very interested in how they're going to stage it, because that's going to make it or break it. If she's gonna, I think she could make the top 3 with this one if the staging is spot on. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're going to stage it. If I think back to what Norway did with a couple of their ballads, America's ballad, for example, in the Norwegian semi-final and final, it was really stripped back. The lighting effects on America were superb, and if they were to do something similar with Claudia, this could really, really go places, I think, on Saturday night. A man who absolutely loves ballads and must be feeling pretty lonely this year because only France have really selected one, and it doesn't look like there'll be too many in Rotterdam. Gustav, are you crossing your fingers that this is the one chosen on Saturday night?
Definitely not. I love her voice. She has a really beautiful, really great voice, but I cannot take this song serious. When I love a ballad, I need to have some kind of like emotional connection to the lyrics of the song, and this is just full of bullshit sentences like "when leaves are falling and the wind blows." Like, yeah, okay. However. Yeah, no, this is sadly not for me. It should be right up my alley, but I can't connect to it because the lyrics are so poor.
Thank you. It does feel like a fairy tale. Maybe Cinderella won't be going to the ball this year. Tom, what is your personal thoughts on this, and what are the chat rooms saying?
Well, I think Abracadabra is truly magical, Stuart. I think that this, if staged right, could be great. I think Claudia has a great fragility to her voice, and I think if they stage it in that very careful way, I think it should do quite well. I would compare it, the song almost is like a piece of porcelain. It's so fragile that you don't want it to kind of break, and I think that comes through quite well. And I think it's very different to the other songs, and I think that stands it in very good stead as well. And I think it could be a surprise package. The chat room also are on board with it. ESC Manga says it's my favourite song. Droidy says, I love this song. What a voice. However, as always, we have a slight difference of opinion. David reckons it's too slow for him. Lovely voice, top 3 finish, but not for him. But I think everyone can agree. I mean, she's got a beautiful voice. And I think it's going to be something that hinges on the staging on the night. Back to you.
For sure. I think it's time we raise the tempo. Let's have a banger from from a pair of twins, the Cosmic Twins. This is Silver Bullets.
When you're shooting silver bullets through my heart.
So, twins Chris and Alec have produced this song, which is Silver Bullet. By the way, guys, you can check out our interview with the Cosmic Twins, available now on YouTube. They actually started performing together when they hit it off at age 12, playing Guitar Hero, and they just thought, this feels good, we're going to have to find our way into music, and wouldn't it be great to stand next to each other on stage performing hits? This is exactly their dream, and their dream has become reality. 2018, they formed what is now known as the Cosmic Twins. They have taken this entry to the DANSK MELODI Grand Prix final. It's actually written by returnee or uncrowned queen of DANSK MELODI Grand Prix, Lisa Kabel, who wrote 2019's Leonora's Love is Forever. It's in fact Lisa's 15th song at DANSK MELODI Grand Prix. So again, we've got some great writers, composers behind this song. I mean, it's very 80s, it's very catchy Europop. It feels to me like a bit Modern Talking meets Pet Shop Boys meets Euroband from Iceland from a few years ago. Nicholas, this is, if anyone should want a banger, this is right up their alley. And if we wanted to get something that's 80s cinch to Eurovision, this ticks a lot of the boxes. What are the Danish people saying?
This is definitely the most Dansk Melodi Grand Prix song out of the bunch. Like, I especially think back to a song, I think it was around 2012, I believe it was, came second, called Take Our Hearts. It has a bit of the same kind of style there. It's very this typical style. It has a lot of the writers that we're used to seeing in Dansk Melodi Grand Prix as well, so that makes sense. And I think these two guys are absolutely great, and they're live performers by nature, and I think we'll really get to see that on the stage on Saturday, because their first television debut was actually in a show called Live, which was like the year's attempt at trying to create the next big X Factor show, which was supposed to be the show about finding the next big live band, but the show absolutely tanked in its ratings and was never talked about again. But they did have their debut there, so some people may remember them from that show. They went quite far, and on that show they really showed that they can create an atmosphere on stage. They work great together. They are just a natural performance, and I think that will really be their biggest selling point. The song isn't really 100% for me, but it is definitely one of the more fun and upbeat songs in this competition. And looking at what the OGAE Denmark page that I'm a member of on Facebook, it does look like it is kind of like the general favorite, because it is a song that everyone can kind of like bob along to.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. It does give me Kano vibes from 2019 when I first heard it. I thought, oh, okay, that's the start of it where you got the sax playing. I just think that's a really cool intro to any song. Jeanette, this is unequivocally 80s, isn't it? Is it for you?
Actually, I like this song. Hey, I'm in a good mood now. Yay! I like the Cosmic Twins. It's like a bit of Jedward, but still not. Great upbeat song. Maybe not for Eurovision, but I like it. And I think they're going to make top 3 easily. Maybe win even. Because it's fun.
I could see it. I could see it in Rotterdam. I really could. It's not like we haven't seen twins on the Eurovision stage before. And if we want a banger, this is definitely one of the ones that you could pick in Denmark this year. Marius, what could we expect from a staging perspective, in your opinion?
Lots of lights, very hyperactive performance. I hope they don't jump around like crazy like Jedward did. I don't think they'll do that. The staging is going to be important for this. It is an interesting song. After listening to it the 5th or 6th time, I actually realized why I'm not convinced. I don't know if anybody else will agree with me. I think the register is a bit low, their vocals. I mean, I think they're singing in a bit of a low tone. I don't know if you've noticed that. I mean, when you listen to it again, give it a good listen. And that's a bit annoying. I mean, their voices, their tone seems to be quite low. Throwback 80s, it's not my favorite, but it could do well. I love the artwork of the promotion. They're brothers, actually, and I heard that they're American, Bulgarian, Danish, if I'm not mistaken. But the way the picture was taken, you wouldn't think that they were brothers. That's what I have to say.
Thank you, Marius. I'm going to move on rather quickly. Come to Gustav next. Gustav, this is a good song. This is a really good song, and I know you're not known for liking this type of genre, but can you see this potentially winning on Saturday night? And could this be a good entry, do you think, for Denmark this year?
Actually, I really like this song. Surprise! No, but it's a really good, catchy song, and I have found myself bopping along to it on multiple times since I heard it the first time. So I wouldn't be mad at all. And if I can't have the country song in Eurovision, send me the Twinks. That's fine too.
Thanks, Gustav. Tom, finally, we need a party anthem or two at Eurovision. This would definitely fit the bill for me. Could Silver Bullet be fired off to Rotterdam?
Oh, do you know what? I love this one. I think this is great. I totally disagree, I think, with you said it was like 80s, but I think it's just the intro bit. It's that saxophone at the start that gives that 80s vibe. And then it kind of delves into, I think, what I describe as more of a familiar sound that we've kind of grown used to at Eurovision. I think this is probably the best one, I think, for the Eurovision stage. I think it's great. I think the guys have a lot to offer, and it's also something that is well liked in the chat room. Big favourites, good chances of winning on Saturday. Donna says Cosmic Twins for the win as well.
Yeah, but she interviewed them. That's unfair.
Elliot says, save the date. Gustav likes a banger. There we go. And it's Elliot's favourite as well. There's a shock.
Actually, that's a really good point. It does. Yeah, there are echoes of Erasure in it, but that's also 80s.
And don't forget they were updated in the 90s as well. I'm just saying. I think it's got chances. I don't think it's as dated as we would.
Oh, I don't think it's dated.
Like to kind of make out. I think great song, love it lots. And do you know what? I reckon this might win.
It's dated, but in a good way.
Exactly.
Yeah, the 80s is coming back. There's so many bands now producing 80s music. The Midnight's a great example. It's coming back. More and more of that type of genre, that 80s cinch is just hitting the charts again. And, we weren't saying that Rayleigh was dated. That kind of, that genre have actually become more and more apparent, I think, over the next few years. But there you go. That's what the panel think of this one. If you thought that was 80s, well, you definitely might feel some 80s vibes in our next song. It's Står, lige,
Jeg står lige her. Du kigger dig omkring. Din hjælp er nær. Men du ser ingenting, yeah.
This is Emma Nicoline. She started singing from a very young age, but absolutely inspired by the 80s. She recognises that and acknowledges that herself. This is very much a song that's derived from her personal experiences. The songwriter, I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, Jeppe Pilgaard. It's formerly co-written Hurricane, which was a DANSK Melodi, so many tongue twisters tonight, DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX hit in 2017. Thanks for laughing. Appreciated. Okay, from one 80s banger to another. I think this is my favourite, I absolutely love this. This is great. Nicholas, you were telling me off air earlier that actually this is one of the more popular with the radio.
Yeah, so I noticed in the last couple of days here that she has posted that the song has actually been doing quite well on the airplay chart on the P4 radio station, which is one of DR's radio stations here in Denmark. I think this song is the most radio friendly we have here, and the song that sounds the most like something I would expect to be released by a Danish pop singer. She isn't a well-known name, but we've had plenty of winners in Dansk Melodi Grand Prix that wasn't well-known names. Emily DeForest, Leonora. These girls were not someone people knew before Dansk Melodi Grand Prix, but won anyways. this song, while it may have a little bit of this 80s vibes as well, which means it could get lost a little bit in the crowd, I think I like that the song is an honest song and is something that she believes in, that she's been in the writing process of herself. She's been very active on social media, I've noticed, and really campaigning to get people to vote for this song. I think she sounds great. I think it's a great typical pop song. It's something that like I said, it doesn't feel out of place on the radio at all. This is a big contender for the win, in my opinion. This could really be the dark horse. And while I haven't necessarily seen that many people inside of the Danish fan group talk about this song, I just feel like it is a song that appeals to the most broader audience. And we got to remember, it isn't only super fans voting on Saturday. It will also be, the families around Denmark tuning in, watching this show, not knowing about all the things we're talking about here, and just voting for the song that they personally like, that fits in to their normal playlist. And I think this one can do that. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one actually took the victory.
Thank you, Nicholas. When I listen to this song, I immediately think of somebody attacking this on stage. It's interesting how it's kind of mid-tempo, and so it enables the artist, if they're able to really attack this and really add some phenomenal choreography. And I think that's what's going to propel this from a contender to the winner on Saturday night. Jeanette, you're a big fan of this too, aren't you?
Oh yes, oh yes. I just love it. It just has to win. It's my number one, and I think Denmark should send it to Eurovision. If you try, I like it even in Danish. It's wonderful, and even if you translate it into English, which they probably will do, the lyrics are gonna be great, and it's emotional. It's like I'm standing right here, but you can't see me. You're looking around for me, but you can't, find me. So I love it. I think it's going to be awesome. So Denmark, please choose this song. 12 points, please.
Thanks, Jeanette. Gustav's not looking as optimistic about this one. I can tell a mile off. Gustav, what does Emma need to do to win over your vote tomorrow night?
She can't. It's boring. So boring. Thank you, next.
A man of so little words this evening. Thank you, Gustav.
Who invited him on this panel? I just want to know.
He invited himself.
He doesn't want to be here. He's already said that.
He just turns up. We just, he just turns up. He buys a ticket.
He's still trying to get a song through that he likes, because Sweden isn't going so well for Gustav this year.
He's one of those who buys the biggest ticket before he looks at the track list.
That's it. That's the one. Yeah. He buys the album because the cover looks nice. Marius, this for me has the hallmarks of a really great entry, and if they get the staging right, this could be a big one. It could go really, 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 really well on Saturday night. What can you visualize that might be going on stage, do you think?
She'll be wearing something spectacular, I think. A lot of lighting, quite colorful. This is my second favorite after Fear and Flamme. This is a very radio-friendly song, as Nicholas said. You could listen to it with joy. It's very, very catchy. This could be, although it's it's one of the favorites, I would consider this a dark horse. I think this could surprise.
Yeah, I think for me it's my favorite alongside Silver Bullet. I think those two songs are by far the strongest. Tom, what do you think?
I'm sorry. I agree with Gustav. I'm the thing is, right, this could be playing in the background and I'd probably kind of tap my feet along to it, and then about 5 seconds later wouldn't realize or register I'd been tapping my feet along to it. And I think it's got potential with the staging, but it needs something to elevate it on Saturday night, I think, to make it pop. Because there are some ingredients there, but compared to the other songs, I would say for me, this doesn't stand out as much as the Cosmic Twins. It doesn't stand out as much as Chief One, and it doesn't stand out as much as Claudia's song either. This is way down my list.
Just a question for Nicholas. Nicholas, there are so many songs in Danish this year, which is a good thing in my opinion. But when it comes to picking a winner, if this was the chosen song, how convinced are you that they will transfer it to English, or is there a chance that we could have a Danish song in the Eurovision this year?
I feel like I'm 90% sure that it's gonna get translated. I think if the artist really fights for it, or even if the fan club really fights for it, I think we could see a Danish song. If a Danish song won, I think there is a small possibility. I mean, even with Love Is Forever, they talked about, oh, should we remove those multi-language parts of the song? I know DR has this kind of, and it is this kind of like old school mentality. I feel like almost kind of like something I feel like would come out of the BBC, where it's like, you know, they think, oh, only English songs can do well, even though we've seen multiple times over the years that that's been proven wrong. And some of the songs we've sent hasn't done as well as some of the songs that are more true to their own nature. I hope that if one of these Danish songs wins, I hope that the artists really fight for it, and I hope that we as the fan club as well in Denmark really fights for it and really gets DR to see that it is something special to send a Danish song. We haven't done it since Curly Kai, so it's like we need to have like that Danish language back on the stage. It would be so special because no one in Scandinavia does it anymore, and for us to kind of be like the first movers a bit there, that would just, I think it would really mean something.
I hope you can do it. I really do. And having this many songs in your final certainly suggests that you've got a better chance of a Danish song winning. But anyway, we will find out. Thank you, Nicholas. Final song. Please don't. Final song. Please don't from David in the chat room. Is Beautiful by John Michel. Let's take a listen.
We are beautiful, we'll make it through it, all knowing we're perfect, you and I, just the way we are.
John Michel started singing at a very young age, recently participated in Danish X Factor. In fact, I think he was in a duo with Nicoline Simone before deciding to leave the competition. This song is written by Clara Sophie Fabricius, Johannes Neymark, Jesper Kjersing, and Andreas Jensen, and feels very much like a John Ludwig Too Much for Love with EDM vibes for me. I don't know whether anyone else gets that, but it kind of feels like a John Ludwig song in Sweden. What are we thinking about this one? I can sort of visualize dark staging, building lights, spotlights, all that kind of malarkey going on in Denmark. Nicholas, what are the fans saying?
Yeah, this is the X Factor Artist of the Year. We seem to always have one of those, and some of them do great, some of them don't. I think this guy is absolutely fantastic. He has great vocals, and I remember him from X Factor, and I watched some of his performances back when the songs were released, and that duo they had there in X Factor was probably some of the best we've had in Danish X Factor of all the years that it's been. So I think just that alone means that he'll put on a fantastic performance. The only problem is just that the song is so forgettable. When you said we have one song left, I was like, do we have more songs left? I don't remember this song, and it's not even because I don't like it, because I think it is actually nice song. But this is the kind of song for me, what Tom was talking about, where it's like, you know, I hear it, and then 5 minutes later, it's like, what song was I listening to? I have no idea. It's just way too forgettable, and it doesn't stand out enough for people to remember it. When it comes to the voting, people are going to have their like one or two favorites they remember. They're not going to remember this one.
Thanks, Nicholas. It does kind of have gospel vibes, so I can sort of see a similar kind of staging to John Ludwig from a few years back. Gustav, can you draw any comparisons with John Ludwig in this?
Thank you, next. No, I'm kidding. I can't draw those comparisons because I can see it. I was so focused on liking the song, and then the drops comes, and I'm like, nope. But it's not that bad, just a little bad.
There is this kind of weird thing that kind of kicks in around, it's almost like an EDM vibe halfway through, which is a little bit odd, because it builds really nicely and then goes, it goes a bit crazy, then kind of comes back down again, which I'm not particularly that keen on, but I do like the song, I have to say. Jeanette, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's pretty good. It's upbeat, makes me happy. Wants to sing and dance. He looks good. I think he has a good voice, and I think he's going to make a good performance. But I also agree with Nicholas that it is a bit forgettable. Yes, maybe you will forget it too fast, but it's still good.
Thank you very much, Jeanette. Marius, how do you envisage this going down Saturday night? Is this a contender?
I don't think so, because, I mean, I wrote today, after listening to it a few times, you might think I'm crazy again, but this kind of reminds me of a slower pace similarity to Ephraim's song from last Saturday from Melody Festival. And maybe you think I'm bonkers now. This song kind of builds up and then it goes into an instrumental chorus, which actually disappoints. And I think that's why it will be forgettable. Good voice, good singer. Yeah, but nah, I don't think it will stand out, although it's a pretty good song, but you can get easily bored with it after a few listens.
Thank you, Marius. And finally, Tom, that's it. That's the 8th song. What are your thoughts on these? And what are the chat rooms saying?
Okay, so first of all, Steve, you said it was John Lundvik-esque.
It was. It is.
Mm.
Hey, listen. Mr. Sweden agreed with me.
As a big fan of John Lundvik's Too Late for Love, I'm going to say no. And you said it was gospel-based, and I'll be honest, I'm not really seeing that either.
No, I said the staging could be gospel-based.
The could be. I'm not really seeing how it fits. I think I agree the most, actually, with David's comment in the chat room. It's too generic. It's a nice song. It is a nice song. But to me, this is another one that is looking a bit like wallpaper paste, and could be easily forgotten. I think I'd probably put it in the same category that I put. I can't even remember the song title. What was the song that I said was easily forgettable? This is the problem I've got. You know, nice song. You know, yeah, but no thanks. In the words of Gustav. Chat room, Donna likes it. Likes the song, beautiful voice and sweet man. And yeah, I think he has got a good voice and stuff. Again, if the staging makes it go pop, it could do better.
So Tom, out of the 8 songs you've heard tonight, which one would you be your pick for Denmark, would you say?
Ooh, this is a tough choice. All right, I've got a top 3, and it's Cosmic Twins, it's Claudia, and it's Chief One.
Thank you,
Probably
Tom.
in that order. There you go.
Okay, I'll take that. Gustav, who's your favourite to win?
I can't choose between Cosmic Twins and the country song that I don't remember the name of, but one of those two.
Everything is all right.
One of those two, please.
Thank you. Marius, who do you think is going to take the win on Saturday night?
I don't like it, but the Cosmic win.
Thank you. Jeanette?
Well, I like the Danish song Står, lige, do 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 do. Well, something like that.
Thanks, Jeanette. I'm going to go with that as well. That and Silver Bullet and Everything Is All Right in the top 3. Nicholas, who would be your pick, and who do you expect to be in the top 3 and potentially go on to win?
Yeah, I think it'll be a battle between Flamme, Emma Nicoline, and the Cosmic Twins. I think those are the 3 that have the most potential, and those are the ones I've seen most people talk about, and some of them have a little bit of a popularity factor that'll help them. So I think it could be between them. And I also just want to say in general, in terms of the selection, some might, have watched through our little review here and think, wow, we've been really harsh to some of these songs. If you feel that, you should see how the Danish fans are when it comes to these songs. Everyone, well, not everyone, of course, but almost everyone absolutely hates the selection this year. I don't think I've ever seen DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX fans being so vocal about how much they want things to change inside of DR, how much they want new people to select the songs, because everyone kind of like almost everyone universally agrees that this is the weakest lineup we've had in many years. We don't feel like any of these songs really have any chance of getting us a great result at Eurovision, and especially after it's come out that Ben and Tan's new single, they actually sent that to DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX and was rejected. That's, of course, a whole other discussion for a whole other day, but it's made people really, really mad, because there is a lot of Danish fans who think that song is miles ahead of the 8 songs that are competing this year. And it's just really interesting to see how it's going to go in the next couple of years, because DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX isn't loved in Denmark. It isn't the same as Melodi Festival nor the MGP in Norway. It is a very niche thing in Denmark, where it's mostly the fans watching. And for the fans to really turn around this year and be so vocal about their dislike for the way that DR has treated Ben and Tan and the way that they've chosen these entries in general, I echo what everyone in the Danish fandom is saying. I hope for a change, because it is a shame that we're turning into the worst Scandinavian country with the absolute worst songs and the absolutely worst selection. And I don't think any of these songs have a chance of getting into the top 15 this year at Eurovision.
Thanks, Nicholas. I have to say, I didn't think we were that brutal about them. And quite honestly, as a Brit, I would have taken all 8 of these.
Yeah.
All 8. I'm looking at you, Tom. It's true, right?
It is true.
Yeah,
we would have taken all of them. Even Everything Is All Right.
All of them. Right, so you've heard what our panel think. Now it's time for you to tell us who you think is going to win DANSK MELODI GRAND PRIX this Saturday night. Thank you for those who voted, and you've chosen Silver Bullet. In fact, yeah, 3 of the 4 Danish songs are in the top 4. So there we go. I'm not even go on, Nicholas. I can't pronounce those 2. So we got Silver Bullet, and what the other 2?
And then we have Højt over skyerne, øverst på hinanden, and finally Står, lige, her.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So there you have it. That's what's going to happen in Denmark this Saturday night. Make sure you tune in to DR on Saturday night, or in fact, yeah, do that, because you can always watch Melfest on Andre Chanson on catch up, can't you? Because everyone around the world does that these days. And then after that, you can watch Portugal, and then you can come and join us here on ESC Fan TV at 9 p.m. Central European Time on Sunday night. And if that's not enough, we have a San Marino second night review on Friday at 8 p.m. Central European Time.
San Marino.
San Remo. Not San Marino.
San Marino.
Yes, my favorite national selection, San Marino.
Twice.
It's been a long week, guys. San Marino.
Only Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. It's close enough. It's close by country as well. San Remo, Friday night, 8 p.m. Central European Time. If that's not enough, and you're up after watching the San Remo final on Sunday morning at 3 a.m., you can tune in live when Andy and the team will be giving you their lowdown of what went on in Italy. Until then, I'd like to say a massive thank you to the panel this evening. I'm sorry, I'm obviously tired. I can hardly speak. Big thanks to our Swedes, Gustav.
Thank you, everyone. I have no idea how we spent over an hour talking about this.
Thank you, Gustav, and thank you for taking your ticket. And thank you to Jeanette.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
It's our pleasure. Thank you to Marius from Cyprus.
Thank you, guys. And I still have hopes for Denmark to bring back Hot Eyes at once.
Hot Eyes?
Yeah. A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it might be waiting a while. Thanks ever so much to Nicholas. It's great to see you back.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. Og have en fortsat dejlig aften.
Big thanks to my co-host, Tom.
Hey, and big thanks to you as well, Stu. Fantastic show. Next up for us, I think it's a bit of Melfest on Sunday. We've got the weekend off. Hey!
It is indeed. Till then, we have a good week, and we'll see you at Melfest. Or, if you're bored, tune into the Italian shows. Bye for now.